Yeah, no, he was the front man for the first administration, but then he got in all of his controversy, and now he's guy whose plans are used, which is basically the same shit.
I've got a big tinfoil hat when it comes to that damn, that piece of shit. I think I know his plan, but I've got a lot of people on like In Time going, nah, that ain't it, Chief. The short of it is, so Bannon's like, we know how to get him a third term. I don't
it's by sending a bunch of people in the FBI to Fulton County to grab a bunch of votes and then try to argue about nationalizing the election process.
Well,
fuck me, dude.
You're kind of scratching the surface there. So I don't think Steve Bannon, I don't think Trump, I don't think a handful of people are trying to get his third term. I think we're a couple of months away from them going, Trump is in his third term. So with the Fulton County stuff, what they're basically going to do is go, oh no, we actually won. And because we actually won, we think that everything that Biden did, including the House, repealed. Needs to not just be repealed, but like rolled back. Everything, any money that the government gave, we're taking that shit back by either you giving it to us voluntarily or us forcefully taking it for the sake of states like California. And so the worry that I have is a lot of the things, like the IRA is a good example, the Inflation Reduction Act, that passed 51-50 in the Senate. Kamala Harris was the tiebreaker. If Biden's election was nullified, that means that would put it in Republican hand to determine if that was a bill that was going to be passed. Not to mention the fact that the president can veto it with that close of a margin when it gets to his desk. The elections that happened, I think, I think Warnock and what's the other guy here in Georgia? Ossoff. I think Warnock and Ossoff were in the 20. Yeah, weren't they elected in the 2020 election?
Either 2020 or 2022? I think it was 2022.
I know one of them had a special. I think Ossoff had a special. But whatever the case is, if they can knock a couple of senators off the list as well, then that puts it where I don't think they would argue that a Republican would have got it. I think the way that they would argue is since we are down one Democrat, instead of the margin being 100 senators, it would have to be accounted for as 99 senators. So let's take a look at all the math that way, or 98 or 97 or however many they get. They've got the Supreme Court captured. They're going to be able to get anything passed that they want to, especially when it comes to stuff that's historic. I don't see Roberts having a problem with him wanting to roll back everything Biden did. And so they're going to go, we're in Trump's third term currently because he would have won the second term, the 2020 election. And then he's going to go, since I'm in the third term, that part in the Constitution, 22nd Amendment, I think, 25th, one of those, that says that a president can only serve 2 terms no longer applies to me. And the Supreme Court needs to make a ruling on that. It obviously doesn't apply to me. And
it's going to be his Supreme Court that he put in. There is a prior precedent, though, that I think, granted, we live in unprecedented times, so bear in mind, a prior precedent does not mean jack diddly anymore. But we do have a prior precedent for we found out that a president should have won an election, but actually, and it was the Bush-Gore election, right? Where that shit happened?
Yeah, there's actually an argument, too, that the Speaker of the House, I forget his name, should have actually been the president.
So, I would hold hope, and however valid that hope may or may not be, but I would hold hope that that prior precedent of we've already seen this scenario, this song and dance. We've seen this play, where one of them should have won technically, and we just kind of said, we're already here, fuck it. I would hope that that's what gets used at that point, more than a Donald Trump uses this to say, actually, the rules no longer apply to me because I'm a super special boy. At the same time, he's the guy who historically says the rules don't apply to me because I'm a super special boy.
Well, the must not fed post.
Yeah, don't fed post.
Yeah, I had to remember that we're on stream right now.
Yeah, if in the unfortunate circumstance where he trips over some rocks and his skull bashes open everywhere and confetti comes out of his brain, we'll all celebrate. But until that moment comes, don't fed post. Hey, you made it to the end. I want to give an extra thanks to the patrons who allow me to do this full time. I want to thank Aaron Rail, Astral, Britzkrieg, Jemshin, Poundini, Red Joker, Victoria, Jonas, Craig, Tarika, Fireshard, Smiling GM, John, Dren Hadamada, Creeper, Sagitta, you know I'm not saying that last part, Valis of Seraph, Ottoman Angel, Rooster Rachel, and Fire Panda, who are all my $20 and up patrons.